I'm just running out of room because I might have to go.
What kind of question are you going to ask me?
Okay, so to begin with, can you give me your name, when you were born, and where you were born?
You want me to answer you right now?
Yes.
I was born in Ruskin, BC on March 29th, 1921. That's about it.
Your name?
Big word?
Your name.
My name is Stony N. It's a very hard word to say in English school, so at 18 years old they start calling me Stony N. So that's a name that everybody knows me by.
Where were you born? Did we answer that?
March 29, 1921 in Ruskin, BC. And Mrs. Natsahara was my mother's midwife when I was born. That's it.
Can you give me a bit of background of your family? Where did they come from? And
My father bought a farm in Ruskin, BC around 1920, and we had about 10 acres of land, but we had a poultry farm with it, so it was very successful. We bought a new truck in 1936 and 1938, and our family was a family of 8 children, and I was the third one of the family. We were doing quite well until the war started in December 1941. Then we had to evacuate.
where did your parents come from?
They come from Kochi City in Japan.
Do you know why they came to Canada?
No, I don't know why they came to Canada, but I think maybe my dad wasn't older, so he went to another country for adventure, I think.
When did he come to Canada?
Around, as far as I know, around 1990 maybe, somewhere around there.
1890?
Huh?
1890?
Yes. And he worked at Britannia Beach Copper Mine when he got married, and my oldest brother is born in Britannia Beach. And I was born in Ruskin, where he bought the farm in around 1920.
Did you go to Japanese school when you were growing up?
I don't know, pardon?
Did you go to Japanese school when you were growing up?
Yes, I went to Japanese school part-time and Saturday all day. And I went as far as grade 8 in Japanese school too, so I could speak it very well, but can't write it now.
When you were growing up, was it a Japanese community, or did you have more?
Yeah, there was about, Ruskin had about 15 Japanese people on Parker Road, where we all were farmers. Okay.
What level of schooling did you go to? English school?
I just went to grade 8 in English school, and started working in the sawmill and logging camp.
Was that in Ruskin too? Was the sawmill and logging camp in Ruskin too?
Yes, worked in the sawmill and working in the logging camp.
When the war broke out, how old were you?
I was 21 when the war broke out, and I was just so happy that I could go to a beer parlor legally at 21. Then the evacuation started, so it was quite an adventure.
Did your parents get sent, did your father get sent to a road camp too?
No, my father was older, so he stayed in BC till 1942 November, and they moved to Tashme. They were the last family to move on evacuation.
When did you find out you had to go to a road camp?
Well, we just we could have went with as a family to Alberta, or we were able to go to the road camp. 18 to 45 single men went to the road camp.
How did you find out that you were going to Griffin Lake?
Well, we went to Hastings Park and stayed there about a week, and then we were ordered to go to Griffin Lake.
When did you go to Griffin Lake?
Around May the 20th of 1942.
How long were you there for?
I was there for 3 months or so because life was too good, and I'm the ambitious type and wanted to do something more active.
What was life like at Griffin Lake? What did you have to do?
Well, we were cutting bushes and trees to straighten the Trans-Canada Highway, which was already there. Just straighten the sharp curves to make it safer for traveling.
How many people were there with you?
I heard after I left, altogether there were about 200 men.
But how about when you were there? How many people were there?
Well, we just started a new camp, so there was just about 50 or 60 at that time.
Did you have to build a camp by yourselves?
Yeah, we had to build an outside toilet first thing we did. And the camp was built, but we didn't have to do that because we weren't carpenters. We worked in the bush, falling trees and stuff like that.
So the carpenters, were they Japanese Canadian too?
Yeah, there were some carpenters that did the building.
What buildings did the camp consist of?
Well, they made the bunkhouses, about 4 of them in a row. Yeah.
Was there a mess hall?
Huh?
Was there a mess hall?
Mess hall?
Yeah.
Yes, there was a mess hall, and there were about 6 buildings in every camp.
Was there a bathhouse?
Bathhouse?
Yeah.
Yes, we had a bathhouse. We had a steam bath.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was it a Japanese bathhouse?
No, we didn't have it when I left. It wasn't still there yet. But they might have made it a little later after I left.
When you first got to the camp, did you have to live in bunk cars, or were there buildings already there?
No, the bunkhouse was already there.
Were you allowed to use machinery there, or was it all by hand, the work you did?
Beg pardon?
The work you did, was it all by hand, or were you allowed to use machinery?
Yeah, we used a crosscut saw and double-bladed axe for falling the trees.
What did you do on your days off? Did you work Monday to Friday? And
We worked on Saturday too, but we did all kinds of things, mountain climbing, writing letters, and going for hikes and visiting other camps.
were you allowed to go to the other camps freely, or did you need permits?
We were allowed to walk to the other camp, which wasn't too far, but we had time, and we enjoyed ourselves very much. I played a game of gotcha with Bill Okada and Pete Karatsu every day. Okay.
Did you visit nearby places like Revelstoke on your days off?
Yeah, well, we were allowed to go to Revelstoke once a month. So we used the taxi and go to Revelstoke to do our shopping.
You didn't take the train?
One time we just took the train once, that's all.
How did you get on the train? Where did you go?
Well, we stopped at Three Valley and we got on, but we weren't allowed to do that anymore.
Who told you to stop it?
Well, the CPR conductor.
No, who told you to stop the train to get on?
Yeah, the foreman told us to do that and we got heck for it.
How many Caucasians were at your camp?
Huh?
How many Caucasians, non-Japanese, were at your camp?
No, there were no other, just the cooks and the camp foreman was Caucasian. All the rest were Japanese. Yes.
Do you have any interesting stories to share where you're there?
Huh?
Do you have any interesting stories that you can share of where you're there, when you were there?
Well, there was a retired mounted police guarding the railroad right near the camp, just for precaution, I guess. But we were allowed to go swimming right there on the lake every day if we wanted to. So I enjoyed myself quite a bit. And there was a cleaner outfit that came down to pick up the cleanings for the men at the camp. And a certain man brought a brick of ice cream in an insulated bag, and we always bought some ice cream and dipped our feet in the lake and had ice cream on Sundays.
How much were you paid?
25 cents an hour, but I was a faller, so I was get 30 cents an hour, a nickel more than the rest of them, so I was very proud of it and very happy about it. But it was 25 cents an hour or 30 cents an hour, and they deducted 75 cents for board for every day, so it was just a meager saving that we had.
Were you the only one in your family that went to a road camp?
No, I was with three brothers, including me, in the road camp, and the rest stayed back home, and they moved to Tashme in November, around November, and they were the last bunch to move, evacuate. So I just stayed in the road camp for 3 months because it wasn't, I'm more of an active man, and I wanted to see the future, so I left for Alberta.
What were your work hours at the road camp?
Huh?
What were your working hours at the road camp?
Road camp was about 8 to 5.
Did you get breaks in between?
Oh yeah, it was nobody was forcing us to work, so we just took our time and pretty near did nothing. But I think we were one of the best working people that was there at the road camp.
Were there any conflicts there that when you were at the road camp?
No, we didn't have too much trouble. But once in a while we did a little rising, but some people who handled it very good, and we didn't have no trouble.
Was there a committee formed there for you guys to represent you?
Nothing there while we were there.
So you didn't have a Japanese person representing you or anything?
No, we were all be able to speak our language, so we did our own talking.
You said that there were occasional rifts or uprisings. What kind of? Can you give me an example of maybe something that happened there?
No, everything ran very smoothly, and we enjoyed ourselves. But only thing we did was write letters to everybody we knew and try to get a letter every day from the outside.
Were you always paid promptly, or were there times that you didn't get your pay?
Yeah, everything was all right. Yeah.
Do you remember the foreman? The English
No,
foreman?
I don't remember the foreman, but he was a nice guy, and we got along fine. I'm not the kind that makes trouble. There is some people that makes trouble, but I wasn't one of them.
What did you dislike most about the camp?
Oh, I liked everything about it because I'm used to working hard, and we didn't have to work hard. So it was very easy.
So you said that life was too easy there and you went to Alberta. How did you go about that? Did you have to go find your own job, or there's someone come to recruit you?
No, I think we wrote to the Security Commission. I wrote to my friend first, and they needed some extra help, so they said it was available, but under the condition after we went, we couldn't even stay there because we had to sleep in a straw bed in a wagon, and us Japanese aren't used to that kind of life, so we left the farm and went back to Lethbridge, and we looked for our job ourselves. And at that time, the weather was wet and rainy, and harvesting didn't start, so it was not too much jobs available. So we ended up doing sugar beets topping with a family that we knew, and we did topping for 1 month, and I think we made about $200. And then I went to, I didn't have a family to stay with, so I went to Burma's Lumber in the Crow's Nest Pass for the winter. We stayed there till March the 31st and went back to the prairies, work on the farm.
So what year were you there for?
I left March 31st, 1943, and I went to do sugar beets with a family for 1 year, and we went looking for other jobs during this slack time. And I even worked on the biggest dryland farm in Alberta, 24 sections. I worked there 1 year, and then winter I went to the Rocky Mountain House. Every winter from November the 15th to March 31st, I went to Burma's Lumber, Rocky Mountain House, and Slave Lake, because the wages were all the same. I just wanted to see the country, so that's what I did.
How much was the wage?
Wages were just $70 a month with board. And it was very cold, but we got used to it, and we enjoyed ourselves playing cards in the evening and stuff like that.
When you were at the road camp, did you get a chance to go visit your family?
Oh no, we didn't have the money to travel like that. So second year I went to Tashmi to visit my family. But during the wartime, it was hard to get a permit to travel because soldiers had priority, so we couldn't travel very freely. But I managed to visit Tashmi twice before I came east.
How was the food at the road camps?
Well, food was regular routine, wieners and sauerkraut on Thursday, and fish on Friday always. And there was a variable menu on the thing, but it was okay. But I miss my rice every day, but it can't be helped during trying times.
Did you get a lot of vegetables?
Oh yes, we got everything. It was pretty good. But I ate all kinds of meals during my single life in Alberta.
So you were talking about the sugar ration. Can you tell me about that?
Well, sugar was rationed, and that's when I quit putting sugar in my tea. And I'm still doing sugar in my tea yet, but I use sugar in my coffee now. And it's okay.
You said that you would save your sugar if you didn't use it?
Yeah, we were saving our cube sugar at the mealtime, just like everybody else. And I don't know what we did with it, but we tried to conserve all the time.
Did the cook thing with sugar in it, like cakes and that?
No, I didn't. Everywhere I went, it was always a cookhouse and cook on these farms. So I ate every kind of meals during my single life.
You said you went to another road camp and they gave you sugar?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Or they made things with sugar?
Yeah.
And you ate stuff?
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of desserts there when you were at
Oh yeah, we had apple pie and stuff like that. And we fed pretty good. Yeah.
So you were there from what month to what month?
Huh?
You were there at the road camp from when to when?
What did you say?
How long were you at the road camp?
I was there just 3 months.
From when to when?
From maybe May the 15th to maybe last week in August, something like that. Yeah.
Did your brothers travel with you when you went to Alberta?
No, my brothers were left behind in the road camp, and they went to Revelstoke, and then they went to Montreal.
How did you end up in Ontario?
Huh?
How did you end up
Well,
in
then I was in Alberta till 1946, around March, and I came to London, Ontario, and worked at Federal Foundry, and went to Chatham on the bus to look for a job for the family. And around June of 1946, I found a place, so I called everybody from Tashme, and I stayed in Chatham till 1950, and I came to Hamilton, and I lived in Hamilton since 1950 till now, the present day. And I've been retired for over 30 years. I worked 3 years at the Harvester, 5 years at Studebaker, and the rest, about 27 years, at White Trucks Parts Department, which was an easy job, and I worked there till I retired in March of 1986. Then I've been volunteering at the center, and where I'm at present time getting interviewed, and did volunteering, and I enjoyed my retirement very much.
Looking back at your road camp experience, what do you think about it?
Well, I think it was a good experience, but it was just a temporary thing, and I enjoyed myself by going to Alberta by myself, and a very important part of your life at the age 21 to 25, when you grow up real fast because you're on your own, and my responsibility to look after the family came on my shoulders, so I looked after the family till the present day. And my parents, my father passed away in 1972, and I got married in 1951. I had 5 children with my wife, and I have 5 children, 8 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren in Australia, which is very unusual. But everybody is doing very fine. I'm quite happy the way everything turned out in my family.
Have you been back to Griffin Lake?
Well, I must have went to maybe 10 times to British Columbia, because my twin girls are there, and my mother is buried out there. She passed away April 20th, 1938. So it's a long time, and I'm the only one in the family that goes out there quite often to visit the grave.
Does it still look like what you remember it as?
Yes, my dad, after he came out east, he went and put a granite headstone there, and it's still very readable and in very good shape. So I expect to maybe visit last time, maybe next year, next summer when I go out west. I'm hoping to be healthy till then and make this trip, which I look forward to.
Your father put a granite plaque?
Yeah, he put a granite.
Where?
At the headstone in what place where my mother was buried.
Where?
The graveyard in Wannock.
Oh, in Wannock. Okay.
I live in Muskin, it's Wanaka, next
Yeah.
village. So he put a nice headstone.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.